At this point in the cycle, what kind of premiums can we expect in takeovers?
I think at a market top, typically we see 38 to 54% premiums to market. Recently, we saw with the New Gold acquisition of Rainy River a 42 to 64% premium, depending on how it is measured. At a market bottom, the premiums tend to be higher because the suitor must attract the shareholders to sell. And many shareholders today are at a severe loss, and therefore they want a higher price, at least to get their money back or make a small profit. So at a market bottom, I would expect the pricing to be 50, 60% above where the stock is trading at.
You listed 12 potential takeover targets in your article that you wrote for Mining Markets. Do you want to take us through a couple of those?
Yes, three of my favorites. One would be a company called Lydian. It's gold in Armenia, near the Iraq border. So it's actually in a politically unstable part of the world. Another disadvantage the company appears to have is that it is still in the feasibility stage. So investors are uncertain how much money the company will have to raise or at what share price it will have to do that raise at. And the third disadvantage is management tends to be exploration focused on this company, and to take it to the next step they would have to replace management with someone that's more engineering focused. So those three disadvantages give investors a reason not to buy the stock. But I'm looking at it as a reason to buy, and the reason is that the stock is already pricing all of those negatives. And in fact, what investors are not paying attention to is that the deposit is an oxide deposit, meaning that it will be easy and cheap to extract the gold from that deposit with low capital costs and a high internal rate of return, a short payback period. That makes it attractive to an acquiring company because it won't cost a lot of money to put it into production. And then the second part is that there is still some exploration potential with this company. And the third is that management recognizes the fact that they are exploration focused. So all three of these things together counteract the three negatives, and the market is not valuing this stock anywhere near where it should be. The second company there's already been some activity on, and that's a company called Probe. And Probe Mines, PRB, on the Toronto Stock Exchange, is gold in Northern Ontario. And recently, Agnico Eagle invested $15 million for a 10% interest in the company. Now, Agnico, I believe, or I'm at least hoping, will likely buy the rest of the company once further drilling reveals that the deposit could be substantially larger than originally thought. This type of activity where a major buys a 10% interest in a junior is called a creeping takeover. Then the third company that I'd be interested in is a company called Canada Lithium. Canada Lithium is really a chemical company that is mining its own raw material to produce the chemical. And the chemical they produce is basically lithium compounds for the battery industry. That company in particular will be an interesting target for another chemical company rather than a mining company. And Canada Lithium has just started production, and they will require some fine-tuning in their process. And I believe that once that process is proven feasible, that a chemical company will come in and buy it. I believe they'll pay somewhere around a 50% or higher premium to the market because of the rarity of this type of deposit. So those are my three top picks today.
You also have your eye on a couple of silver companies, Mag Silver and First Majestic Silver. Do you want to tell us about those?
Yeah, I think that both those companies represent excellent value. In particular, First Majestic has 5 producing mines today, and over the next several years will increase that to 7 producing mines. Their production is approximately 12 million ounces of silver today, and that should increase to about 16 million ounces over the next few years. So their production is rising, meaning their earnings will rise. And so as an investment, I think the stock could do well on its own, regardless of a takeover. But then when we look at their reserves, we find that they have almost 5 ounces per share in silver in the ground. So we're talking about $100 worth of silver for an $11 investment on the stock, and I like that risk-reward ratio. So that's my top pick of those two.
And do you want to tell us about Mag Silver as well?
Well, MAG is a kind of a special situation in that it has been a target of a takeover before, which was fought off, and that takeover price is just a little bit below where the stock is trading at now. I believe that that company is also going to be the subject, or is the subject of a creeping takeover by Fresnillo, the major Mexican silver mining company. So at some point I believe that there'll be a friendly deal struck between the two companies.